Namaste, this is Dr. Aisha Butalia. I welcome you all on today's session on uh, SQL queries. Last time we had discussed about the DDL statements, DML statements, some more advanced DML statements like min and max, count, average, sum, the aggregate functions, like operator for string operations, manipulation, selections, patterns, finding patterns, okay? Then wildcards, characters, the in clause, and the between clause. So today we will continue with the different types of joins, okay? But before that, we will be going through the alias. So the outline of today's lecture, including alias, would be joins, inner join, left join, right join, full join, self join, union, okay? And if time permits, we will be having group by, having, exists, any, all. You can see on the left, as told earlier, this is the recommended site, w3schools.com, and then go to the SQL tab, or you can just write /SQL, okay? I find this very user friendly for the beginners learning SQL language. And on the left, topic wise is given, where you have the syntax, you've got examples. Okay, and if you go at the end, okay, you have got more examples. See SQL examples, if you can see here, there is a quiz also to evaluate yourselves whether you have understood the lecture or not. Then you have exercises, you have certificate. Okay, please ignore the ads coming because we are taking this lecture online from the site. So I would please request, if there is an ad coming on the right hand side, please ignore it. That's not the part of the lecture, but since the site is referred online, it may pop up in between. So coming to the alias, SQL aliases are used to give table or a column in a table a temporary name. Okay, so for example, we all have a name which it's on paper, the names which our friends call us, the names which our family members, near and dear ones call us. Okay, so these are the different names of one object itself, right? Similarly, we can also rename our object with different names, even the columns of the table, by a temporary name, and that is called as alias. So aliases are often used to make column names more readable. For example, you have put ID. So some people do not understand what is ID, maybe a beginner or maybe a client who is not well versed with these short forms. So you can internally you can put it as ID, but for representation you can put an alias as identifier. Now you will say, why two different names? Okay, we want two different names because the shortcuts will be useful for us. The shortcuts will be useful for us. The shorter the name, the easier would be the query to execute. Okay, because longer names may have complexity if there is a typing mistake, okay, spelling mistake. So that is why short forms are always advisable internally. But while representation, obviously you can give full form, some more descriptive words to that. Okay. So an alias only exists for the duration of the query. So it's a temporary name. Okay, for example, when you have an official name, everybody will know you according to that. The temporary name is just for your convenience sake. Similarly, on paper, the name which has been registered in your Aadhaar card or maybe your PAN card, so that is advisable. So similarly, that will be a temporary name. Okay, so we'll see the syntax. Select column name as alias name from table name. So select column names from table name as alias name, right? So this is the two ways of writing the syntax. This website is easily available. Okay, even if you think that it's going fast, you can always go through. But for since we have already taken 3 to 4 lectures in our presentations online and also in campus, so I don't think this should be very, very difficult. But in case some slow learners or somebody who have missed the previous lectures, they can go through the site. So this is the alias name. The keyword is as, right? So if there is a customer table and the orders table given here as example, select customer ID as ID and customer name as customer from customers. So this is the name of the table. This is the actual name of the attribute in the table, right? And these are the alias given to them. So it can be vice versa. Even short forms can be given and long forms can be in the table. So whatever the situation demands, you can do the alias. Renaming and alias, they may go hand in hand actually. So renaming we have done in our tuple relational algebra presentation. Okay, if time permits, we can even revise that. So select customer name as customer, contact name as contact from, contact person from customers. So likewise, there are different examples where you can do the aliasing of the tables and the column names. Now basically, alias are generally used when you have common column between two tables. So suppose there is a customer table and orders table here, and both have the same column name, customer ID and customer ID. Now, when you do selection of query from two tables and you want to refer which customer ID you are talking about, then you can say customer ID C and customer ID CID. So you can also put names, short forms of the respective table so that it is not confused, because here it is a confusion. Both names are same. Otherwise, if you don't do alias, then you can say customers dot customer ID and orders dot customer ID to differentiate between the two customers ID. Obviously, they are two different customers ID, but with the same name. Two columns rather of two different tables, but since the name is same, to avoid confusion, you can do with the dot operator also. But at times, writing customers dot customer ID, this may be very lengthy. So you can just put customer ID alias C and just you can write C is equal to, and again for orders dot customer ID, you can put customer ID as CID. So then you can directly, if you want to relate, instead of writing customers dot customer ID is equal to orders dot order ID, you can also mention just C is equal to CID, as simple as that. So making your code more readable, more uncomplex, more similar, aliases are used. Now see, since you are engineering, if you are an engineering student or even any computer student or any software student, in my advice is that you should always, before learning a topic, you should first try to question yourself, why I'm learning this, okay? And then how you can achieve, okay, what is the purpose of learning this, and then what actually is the syntax and the examples. That is the last stage. But generally students, what they do, they first study the syntax and then probably they go to the how. That means what they do first, how they do next, until it comes to the why thing, they get exhausted. But as a innovator or a researcher or a good software engineer, you should more concentrate on the why part. If you understand why aliases are used, probably the syntax and example, they are very, very simple. One website you refer and see everything you're getting for SQL. So that's not a very big thing. So now going through the joins. Okay, so what is a join? From the name itself, we are joining something. So what we are joining basically one or more tables in order to retrieve information. Okay, so suppose there is a customer table here mentioned, and there is an order ID, there is an orders table also, and there is a customers table. So a join class is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on the related column. So here, if you can say what is the related column, customer ID, because through this common column, there is a relation between orders and customers. So notice that the customer columns in the orders table refers to the customer ID in the customer table. Relation between the two tables above is the customer ID. So as mentioned earlier, a relation in the two table is formed when they have some common column. we can create, because see, if you want to get some data of the customer's order, obviously how it will track from here, because if there is something in common, then only what will happen, if you want the order date, right, of the customer ID too. So how you will go, first you will want the customer ID from here, and from here you will find the date, right? But if you want the name of the customer ID too, then probably first you will go to this too, and then you will find the name of the customer. So here we did, since we had the common column, then only we can retrieve the order dates if we specify the customer name, or we can get the names if we specify the customer ID. So example is select orders.order ID, comma customer.customer name, orders.order date. So basically 3 things will be displayed on screen: the order ID column of the order table, the customer name of the customers table, the order date of the orders table. From the table orders, inner join customers on orders.customer ID is equal to customers.customer ID. Now this query might be looking complicated to you, but basically inner join means what? That only the columns which will have common customer ID can be retrieved. Okay. For example, can you retrieve any information of 37 customer ID? No, because over here in customer table, 37 customer ID is not mentioned. So inner join means only the joins which are having common columns items. So here only this 2 is common. So inner join will give only the attributes related to 2. Now since this table is short over here, but in the previous examples, the entire bigger table is given. That's why the output is given more. But in terms of this particular case, probably we do not have the all tuples seen. So hence we were talking about the 2 customer ID. Now what are the join? We said that join is joining 2 different tables. So inner join is, we have different types of joins in SQL. So inner join is basically, it returns records that have matching values in both tables. Okay, matching values. Left outer join, it returns all the records from the left table and matched records from the right table. Okay, so in this 2, suppose only if we take these 2 small tables where it has 3 records, obviously it will return common columns, okay, in left inner join. But if suppose I write order table first and customer table second, so left table will be order and right table will be customer. So in that case, apart from 2, it will also display these 2 records also with customer ID 37 and 39. But in case of right outer join, what it will do, of course it will print the common columns also, but it will print the right table. So right table here is customers, so it will also print the tuples related to 1 and related to 3 as well. So that is the related of outer join, right outer join. So it will return all records from the right table and the matched records from the left table. But in inner join, it will only show the matched values only. So in full outer join, probably as the name suggests, it will show all the records. Okay, so apart from the matched records, it will also show the outcome of left outer join, and it will also show the outcome of right outer join, which will actually mean full outer join. So from here, you can see the diagram. This is the matched values inner join. This is the matched values along with the left table. This is the matched values along with the right table. And this is of course the matched values apart from the outcome of left outer join, also from the outcome of right outer join, and actually it means all. Okay. So we'll just see an exercise, and later you can start your exercise on the website so that you get more examples to evaluate yourself. The more exercise you will do, the more concepts it will be clear to you. But right now, insert the missing parts of the join clause of the two tables, orders and customers, using the customer ID field in both tables as the relationship. So select star from orders, left join customers. Okay. Now what it will be? It will be orders dot customer ID is equal to customers dot customer ID. So here it will come orders dot customer ID is equal to customers dot customer ID, because this is the common column using the dot operator. Obviously, you can use the alias, have the short form like as discussed earlier, and you can put over here C is equal to CID also. C is equal to CID if you refer the aliases before. So we have seen what are the types of different joins. So inner join, obviously it will give the common columns. Okay, so the example is given here, and if you see the example after writing this query, you will get the output as the common columns. Okay, so here are the query how to be written, but basically to note that inner join you have to write on, the written in blue is the keyword. So inner join customers on orders customer ID is equal to customers dot customer ID. Okay, there is another table, so probably you can have joins of more than one table, so there can be even 3 tables then. So here shippers table is also added. So join shippers on. Now see, if suppose it is from orders, so there might be some common column between orders and customers here, and some common column between orders and shippers here. Okay, so as seen over here, it's clearly seen from this query itself that what is the common between orders and customers is the customer ID, and what is the common between orders and shippers is the shipper ID. So then we can write this orders dot shipper ID is equal to shippers dot shipper ID. Okay. So you can solve this exercise accordingly. Now going to the left outer join, only a minor changes. Okay, so only the minor changes, since we know that what is the outcome. Okay, so in such queries where you want such type of outcomes, you can design your queries using left join. Now see, we are learning different types of joins, but ultimately the person who is designing its product, or maybe your prototype, okay, your entire database, you have to decide what type of outcome you want, and depending upon that, then you design the query. Now designing the query, you have to select which type of join would be suitable to you. Okay, so it is as simple. The syntax is similar to that of inner join, only instead of inner you have written left join, otherwise rest is the same. Okay, but the outcome would be that you will get the matched values along with the left table remaining values. Now here order by clause is used, so you can use n number of combinations what we learned in our previous DML operations. You can use that. So order by basically will give you the customers in a sorting order. Okay, by default, since here nothing is written whether ascending or descending, so by default you will get the customer's name in ascending order. Okay, so you can go through the examples. Then rest is the right join. Kindly ignore the ads coming on the right hand side. It's the online site, so probably there may be some popped up things. Just concentrating on the right join now. So here same syntax, just instead of left you can put right, and then you will get the right part. Okay, and similarly you can write the query as in the previous case. Full join, same thing. Select table, full outer join. Okay, so this is table 1 and this is full outer join table 2. On table 1 dot column name is equal to table 2 dot column name. Then you have got full outer join, right? And of course, you can put a where condition also. This is applicable to, in fact, all queries. That's a basic part of SQL. So going to the syntax, it is same, just instead of left outer join or right outer join, you are putting full outer join. Okay. So you will get this type of output. So again, there is some note, some prescription for you. The full outer join keyword returns all matched records from both the table, whether the other table matches or not. So if there are rows in customers that do not match with orders, or if there are rows in orders that do not match with customers, those rows will be listed as well. This is very, very clear from the diagram itself. Okay, these are the matched values, but it will also display the outcome of the left outer join. That means unmatched values of the left table and also the unmatched values of the right table. Okay, now going to the left self join. So self join is a regular join, but the table is joined with itself. Okay, so sometimes we need to refer the same table twice. Okay, so for example, first we want to find out, suppose in this customer table, okay, in this customer table, we want to know the city of all the customers' name starting with A. So in this case, not much effort is required because all the names are starting with A, but this we do not know. So first we will have a query which will find out all the tuples, customers' name starting with A, and there may be another condition that city is select even the city. Okay, so the using Cartesian product, this query is written very, very simple. You can write it as select city from customers, okay, where customer name like and then A in quotes, okay, and A and then star, because it should begin with A. So A, or you can have percent rather, whatever version you are using, whether you are using MS SQL, MS Excel or SQL Server, it depends. You have to put a wildcard as percent or star. So it will be select city from customers where customer name like in quotes A% and is not required because just it will select the city. Okay, but instead of there is no and, this table would be referred twice. How? First it will find out all the A's and then it will try to retrieve the city. So internally this table is referred twice. Okay, so but how it is more clear if you do with joins. Now see, there is one lecture we already took specially for Cartesian product, and then we will be differentiating it that how Cartesian product is different than subquery, how at times subquery is much more efficient, but the only thing is Cartesian product writing the query is very, very simple. So okay, so generally every beginner tries to solve the query using Cartesian product, using a comma operator between the two tables. Okay, that's very, very simple. But in subqueries, joins are used. Okay, so you can go through that presentation we had already done earlier. But for right now, if you want to solve it with joins, the same query, then how you will go? The query is as follows. Select A dot customer name as customer name 1, B dot customer name as customer name 2, A dot city from customers A. Now see, this is alias. So customers table has been referred twice. So it will be a confusion. So that is why first customer referring will be named as A. Another referring is known as aliased as B, where A dot customer ID is not equal to B dot customer ID. Okay, because if it is matching, then probably all the query tuples would be retrieved, and A dot city is equal to B dot city. Now this query was not the same what I had mentioned earlier example. This query is that matches the customers that are from the same city. Okay, so that is why if we want to match the customers of the same city, first we will refer this customer name and we will try to find out the city of this. So for that customer A, that means this table will be referred first time as this, and then B would be referred where all the other tables where Berlin is there would be seen. Okay, so every time this tuple will be city would be find out, and second time it will check all the tuples where this city matches. That is why the same table is referred as twice, and it is aliased as A dot B. Okay, and then this condition, and then you have to match. So if this city matches, and then you have to order by. Order by is just for our sake. If you want, we can even avoid it, but this will give you all the cities alphabetically in an ascending order. So self join is basically when we try to join this with our own table again, and this is one of the example where the same table is referred twice. Now see, for imagining this is very easy, but ultimately computer is something which does according to our instructions. So we have to give the instruction that first refer this table, find out the city, then again refer this table twice to find out whether this city is matching with somebody else's tuple. Okay, so that is why it can be done self join, and there's the same explanation I give you when I was discussing with you aliases. Okay, now going to the next, that is union. So a union operator is used to combine the result set of two or more select tables. Okay, so you have to combine two select statements or maybe more, then you can say that you can use this union syntax. So you have one select statement and you have another select statement. You just combine the output of those selected by the command union. Okay, union all. So the union operator generally it selects only distinct value, it does not give the repeated items. But if you want that even those duplicates should be retrieved, then you just put up all keyword including with union. Okay, so just type union all over here and you will also get the duplicate tuples. So just a prescription for you while using union. The column names in the result set are usually equal to the column names in the first select statement. Okay, so if you can say, see, if there are two column names here in the first select statement, then there should be two column names only in the second select statement. Okay, if there are three column names here, then there should be three column names here also. Okay, and basically they should have of same data type. So if you have again the demo of customers table, and here there is a supplier table. Okay, if you find this as fast, then you can go to the website later even after the presentation. Just ignore the ads in between. So select city from customer, select city from suppliers, order by city. So you can see there is one item here and there is one item here, and they both are of same data type probably when you go above the examples. Okay, similarly with union all, same thing. Only the difference between these two queries is here the duplicates will not come, here the duplicate tuples will also turn up. SQL union with where clause. So you can obviously include the where clause. Using where clause, you can put conditions and you can have selective union outcomes. Okay, same with the union clause. Now going through the group by. Now group by statement groups rows that have same values into summary rows, like find the number of customers in each country. Okay, so where condition is basically on normal SQL queries, But what are the group functions? Group functions are order by. So order by is a group function. Why? Because you are ordering, you are grouping in terms of the some attribute, some condition. When you say that order by customer name, since customer name is a string, so it will order by accordingly alphabetically in ascending order, right? So it will give you groups. First, all the names starting, customer name starting with A will pop up, then with B will pop up, then with C will pop up. So what is happening actually with the order by? Some groups are formed. Okay, if a number is specified instead of string, so all the numbers starting with 1 will first pop up, then with 2, then 3. So that is groups basically. Okay, so when you have performed groups, and on that groups, when you want to perform some condition, then instead of where, you should use having, that we will see later. But basically this, you have to form groups. So for group, you need to specify these keywords as group by. Okay, so the group by statement groups rows that have same values into summary rows, like find the number of customers in each country. So what this will do, this query should actually give me groups country wise, right? So similarly, this group by is statement is often used with aggregate functions like count, max, min, sum, average to group the result set of the table. So select column name from table name, where condition group by column names, order by column names, right? So demo database here. Then we have select count, customer ID, country from customers, group by country. So here it will give all the